Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our Exosphere Community Edition Let's Play. So in today's episode, we're gonna get into the Twilight Forest. We've done this in countless other series and streams and whatever else, but we'll cover it here for those of you that don't know. So it is in the quest book, but basically we need a 2x2 pool of water. This was our infinite water source, but now that we got infinite water over there, and in our backpack, we don't need infinite water in the ground, so we're going to use it. So all you need is some flowers, a 2x2 of water, and a diamond. So without further ado, let's head to the Twilight Forest. All right, so like I said, for this, you just need a 2x2. I took out some of these random flowers that have been growing around the base here. We don't quite have as many of the color varieties as I might like, but, you know, whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be, and we're just going to mix it up the best we can here. You need to surround the entire pool of water, and then take a diamond and throw it in. When the lightning strikes, you did it. And now we can just toss everything in our storage and jump in. And just like that, here we are in the Twilight Forest. I had actually already come in because one of my kid who's playing on the server wanted some help, and they were in an area that I didn't have unlocked yet, so I couldn't help them, but I have already come in here. One of the side quests is to collect 5 of these fireflies, so why don't we just go ahead and knock that one out real quick? And then while we're in here, there is like a sapling that my kid's actually wanting that only can be found in the chests that spawn in the dungeons that occasionally spawn in the top of these giant trees. So while we're connecting our fireflies, let's head on up here. Oh, and our flight works. Let's head on up here and see if this one has a dungeon. It's not looking like it. It's looking like this one is just hollow, but occasionally these will spawn with a dungeon in the top of them, and in there are the chests, and that is the sapling that my kid is hoping to get at some point. Oh, we somehow opened our glider. I forgot we even had that on. All right, so what do we got? Little wishing well action. Ooh, there's a chest. Some copper, some sticks, a record. Okay. We should do something about our underwater breathing, you know, because we, you know, don't have that going on. So maybe we need to look and see if there's like a water breathing augment or something. But now that we've completed fireflies, let's see. Just give us a random quest reward. The Naga is the first major boss in the Twilight Forest. It can be found inside the Naga courtyard. Defeating it rewards you with Naga scales and a Naga trophy, and other loot. Collecting the Naga scales required to be able to unlock access to the Lich Tower. Cool. Another thing we want to do is we want to find an obsidian pillar. That looks like one over there because near the obsidian pillars spawns the Raven. And the Raven is our ticket to our map. So we get to kill him. Oh no, he did not give me a feather. You cheapskate. All right, here's another one. We want a feather. Give me a feather. All right, there we go. Now we've got a raven feather. So if we look up the uses on a raven feather, we need to make the magic map focus. We need some glowstone dust, which we have, but we're going to need torch berries. So torch berries, we should be able to find in any of the little like caves. They kind of grow hanging down from the ceiling, just like, you know, the glow whatever like it, or the glow berries or whatever that we get in the overworld. So let's find us the cave and hope we get lucky. All right, haven't found any yet, so I will go find some torchberries and be right back with you. All right, here we go. That took me a minute to find some, but this is what you're looking for. Torchberries, like I said, they spawn just kind of like glowberries in the ceilings of caves and stuff. I did go into one of the little ore mountain things where there's a bunch of these guys and swarm spiders and stuff, and just gathered up a bunch of ore I didn't really need, but, you know, I quickly realized I didn't really need to be in there, so I got out and got back to hunting the torchberries that we needed. So now, with that, we should be able to make our map. We sort of accidentally found the next 2 objectives while we were trying to find our torchberries, though. So let's take a look at the overall map here, and you'll notice that right over here to our left, that is a Naga thing. So that is the first boss that we're going to need to head to. And in our quest line, there is a side quest over here for killing skeleton druids. And I think they spawn in this house that I just happened to find right here too. So let's get over here. Yep. So right next to the Naga is one of these. These typically have skeleton druid spawners in them. So we'll be able to take that quest down right after we handle this Naga. But first, let's make our map so that you guys are familiar how to do with that. So let's see, magic map focus. And then we are going to need to make our magic map. This magic map will show us the various bosses and biomes around the Twilight Forest. And there you have it. As you can see, we've got a Naga right there in front of us, and we are in the top right section of this map. So as we go to explore, we'll kind of want to head that way, but we've already seen some of the next few bosses that we're going to want to get into. So I'm going to go ahead and put our map here, and then let's talk the Naga fight. So if you've never done the Naga before, he's a big old snake, and he has a bunch of segments on his body. And when you get in here, you'll see the Naga there. Each time you hit him, he's going to lose like a segment. And the goal is after he does his little thing like that and he loses a piece, the goal is to get him all the way down to just a head. And once you get him down to just the head, then he will die unless you have a sword like mine and 3-hit the guy. So technically it should have been much more difficult than that, but it was not. And once you're done, in the center of his structure will spawn this chest. This chest is going to have your loot and your trophy, which will unlock the next boss. Next boss for us, according to this, is going to be the Lich, but as I said, they've got a side quest for us to go kill 7 of these skeleton druids. So just in case you're like the quest junkie that wants to get all your quests completed, of which, you know, it's a fun goal to have in some packs. This one in particular, where you don't have any like overarching, I must finish this kind of goal, you know, that's a good goal if you want in your world to try and have something to work towards, is to work towards, you know, completing all the quests. So right now we're going to just actually clear out some of this stuff and try and make more room for druids to spawn, because that's what we're here for. So I'm even going to take out the walls of the little hut here and just try and like make sure this spawner can spawn us as many as we need, because we need 7 of them. So let's just destroy their little house here, and that'll open up our spawn space for the druids. They also can spawn upstairs. There's usually 2 spawners in each of these. There's actually might even be 3, because there could be one. There's a hidden room in these downstairs. So this is also another fun thing from the Twilight Forest. If you're looking for unique ways to light your base, the Firefly Jar. It is a light source, and you can literally make them with making the jars, and the fireflies you collected, you can put them into a jar. Now, this one doesn't look like it has the table and all, where, oh, it does. It's under this spawner. So let's get our 7 kills, and then we will go down and explore the little hidden room underneath. So there we go. Now we've got our 7 kills. So let's break this spawner. And then down here underneath is this little hidden room, which looks like it blew up at some point, somehow. Or, oh no, we might have vein mined some of it. Ha! All right. But either way, little hidden thing here to get back up. You can steal some pistons and stuff out of there. I think occasionally there's a chest in here. But, you know, just a little... I want to say there is a chest. I want to say it might be, like... Yeah, it's hidden somewhere. I don't remember where. There's a bunch of redstone in here for sure. Let's see. No, I don't necessarily see the chest. Oh, I thought there was a chest down here. Guess there's not. But there you go. There's a little hidden room under the druid house, and that's where you find the druids for your quest. Let's see if we can get out of here. All right, next things next, we're going to head off and get ourselves a lich kill. So on your map, we already have seen a lich tower, and I think it's actually off the edge of this map over here, right, was where we saw it. Let's go look on journey maps. So it is off to our east, which is, yes, it's going to be off this map. That may be a lich right there, though. So let's go see if this is a lich, just so you can see what they look like on the map. Now, if you do this earlier on when you are less geared, these are going to be much more challenging than it appears that they are for me, because, you know, we are kind of in our in-game gear. Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like when you go in a biome you shouldn't. That's where our Yetis are going to be later. We got to go kill Yeti. But we should have a lich tower right here in front of us. We do. All right, now, if you don't have flight, you have to navigate these things, and they can be challenging to navigate. I'm just checking this for a dungeon. Nope. But if you got flight, we can literally just skip the having to climb the tower. And we can break into the boss room right up here. And so here's the lich. Now, the way this works is kind of like a ghast. So he's going to shoot these eyes at us. We need to reflect those back to break his shield before we can kill him. And he duplicates like this, so you got to focus and hit the center one. And I have not hit a single one back. I'm not very good at this mechanic. Oh, I did get one, it looks like. So all right, well, I am going to sit here and try and reflect his little eyeballs back at him, and I will be back once I've got the lich down. All right, here we have it. All of his shields are down. He goes into this next phase where he starts summoning zombies or whatever these are, and then you just got to attack him once the shield is down. And there we have it. Just like with the other bosses, once they're actually dead, they'll spawn a chest in the middle of the room with their loot in it. And as I said, if we didn't have flight and could just sort of cheese it, you would have to make your way through all of that while fighting mobs to get up here to kill him. So we got a zombie scepter, we got a lich trophy, some ender pearls, some other gear, and yeah, we can just go back out of here the same way we came in, right up here. Next on the list, Minish Room. This is a fun one. So we're going to have to go find the swamp, right, for the Minish Rooms, or yeah, I do believe so. Yep, Twilight Swamp. So if we look at our map and we go ahead and put some of the rest of this stuff back in storage because we don't need it. I don't see, oh, is that, no, that's another lich. This may be a swamp right over there. So let's go see what this is. Nope, that's not a swamp. This is the one where the Phantom Knights are. So let's keep looking. As soon as I find a swamp, I'll be back with you. Here is one of those dungeons I was talking about that occasionally spawn in the tops of the big trees. So let's see if we can get the sapling that my kid was hoping for. Canopy tree sapling, sickly. Nope, we did not get. They want the world tree sapling or something. World. What is it? Sapling. Let's see. Not the rainbow oak. Tree of time. They want that one for some reason. So we didn't get it, but there could be dungeons in each of these. So let's just break them open and see. I hear more spiders, which makes me think we might have another one. I heard the spiders as I went by. Yeah, see, this one's enclosed. There we go. More swarm spiders. Let's break our spawner. Canopy tree, dark wood. Nope. Is there another one? I don't hear any in here. So nope, they don't spawn in the center. I thought they did, but they spawn in these little edges. So if you're ever flying around looking for these, for the saplings or whatever, just listen for spiders. And if you hear spiders, you've probably found one. All right, here we are, Twilight Swamp. So what we're looking for inside the swamp is this right here, one of these little hills. So these hills are the gateway to the Minishroom's Labyrinth, which is where we need to head for our next boss. So found deep inside it, you can enter, and then the dungeon hidden inside with each biome. We did the Lich, allow you to claim its scepter, unlocking access to swamp, dark forest, and snowy forest. Okay, so down we go. You may want to bookmark this because there's bedrock in between each of the layers of this maze. Now, there is another map that is specific to this maze that we have to kill Minishrooms in order to get the pieces to make it. So let me get this map out of our hand and put some stuff up, and we will see if we can't find some Minishrooms to get our maze map focus. And then once we do that, we can kind of go over it. Although that map is kind of confusing because it doesn't do layers well. Like, it really doesn't. So here are these guys. He did not give us a focus. Boo this man. He didn't give us a focus. Also, boo him. Creepy crawlies, no focus. Still no focus. Some slime, still no focus. It is kind of neat how these slimes look like the blocks on the wall. We still have not gotten our focus. Still no focus. Don't forget to loot, though. Looting is your best friend. You get all kinds of goodies from looting. Dude, I'm gonna find my way down to the next layer without ever finding the map. All right. Well, I guess I will keep looking. I'll bring you guys back once I find it. Alrighty, well, I found the way down, but I have not found a maze map focus to be able to make the maze map and show that to you guys. Hopefully your drop rate's better than mine on it, but when you find the section like this in the middle, this is how you're going to get down to the next layer. And then the Minishroom boss should be somewhere on this layer. It will be a room similar to this, except it'll have gates and stuff. So I'm going to wander around until I find that room, and I'll be back with you when I'm at the boss. All right. That took not nearly as long as I thought it would, but this is what it'll look like. It's got the mushrooms, and it's gated off. We can vein mine those to get them out of the way, and then in we go to the Minishroom. And he is really not tough. Once you have gear, just to hit him, it's over with. Now, the hardest part is going to be actually finding our way back out of here, because you have to navigate all of the levels to get back to the surface in order to get, back to the surface. So a waystone ahead of time might not have been a bad idea if I was a smart guy. So if you're watching this before you do this adventure in your world, oh, there was our map focus too. Maze right there. So I can show you what this looks like. Maybe we can use it to help find our way out. But here is our boss chest. We got his axe and we got some of this stroganoff. Now we need to eat one of these to be able to unlock the next step. Because if we don't eat it, then we're not going to be able to go into the fire swamp to kill the Hydra. Now, let's craft up our maze map focus into a maze map. And so, there. Now, this will show us where we are on the map. And as you'll notice, this one is for the lower level. But if we were to have made it on the upper level, it would only be an upper level map. It doesn't change how it looks, when you go from one level to the next. Now, lucky for us, I remember that this was here, and here's our way out. So one cool thing about this pack is you actually have a mechanic to get you out of here built into the pack. You can use your grappling hook to get your way out, and then the next one we just need to find somewhere that's broke through to the surface. Lucky for us, there's actually a hole right here. Goes out into the swamp, and we're out. So now, back to our map, which we put in storage. And we need to go find the Hydra, which, conveniently for us, is right there, dead ahead, on the map. So the Hydra is going to look like this. Lava, open pools of lava on the ground, and then there's going to be a big mound. The Hydra is on the other side of the big mound. Ooh, I didn't know that towers spawned in the Twilight Forest, but we can get ourselves a free waystone from up here. So I'm going to come up here and steal this waystone. Sorry to anybody who comes to this tower after me, but I stole that one. And then we're going to yank all this loot too, because, you know, loot is good. I don't know what all we got here. Nothing too crazy, but you know, it's nice to have it. Salamander's Eye dispels blaze fireballs and reflects gas fireballs, puts out fires around me. That sounds like an interesting little, we have to look into that. Okay. So here is the little amphitheater, or whatever you want to call it, where the Hydra is. And since we ate our meat stroganoff, we will be able to get down here and take on the Hydra. So here we go. Let's get in range to where we can hit it. Now, I think we have to, like, hit each head or something. Not real sure. Oh, there we go. Now we're doing some damage. Oh, that head's gone. And there we have it. Hydra down. So now we're going to wait on the Hydra to disappear. And here's our Hydra loot. Next on the list, the Night Phantom. Now, we found this area earlier. It's up there to our northeast, so let me glide it on back over there, and I'll meet you there. All right, here we are at the edge of the dark forest, dense forest. I don't remember what it's called. Let's see. Dark forest. So you want to go under the canopy for this one, and underneath the canopy, we're going to find lots of these skeleton druids and other mobs. But what we're looking for is the bits of a structure poking through to the surface. Now, they're going to be kind of near, I think, where the little symbol is on the map for each of them. Or at least they should be. So let's head to this closest one right there. And let's see if that's the case. Is there a... Yep, here we go. So this is what it's going to look like from the surface. And what we're going to need to do is we have to find the pedestal. In order to go in, we can take any of our previous boss trophies. So let's just go at Twilight. And you'll get it back. So you can use whichever one you want. We'll use our Naga head. No big deal. So we're going to take the Naga. And if we put it on this pedestal, it's going to unlock being able to go in. So in we go. And now inside of here, what we're looking for is the Night Phantom. They are found hidden inside this maze. And there are multiple levels on this maze. To find them, we have found that you can get structures that generate where the Phantom Room doesn't even spawn in. So if you look forever and ever and ever and can't find one in your world, what I had to do was I had to go to a different entrance, and then there was a Phantom Room like almost immediately upon going into the structure in the second one of them I found. So just don't give up, just go to the next one and keep looking, and then I will meet you guys once I find our Phantom Room. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, y'all. Not gonna lie to you. That took forever. Like, so long that I almost didn't know if I was going to have enough time to finish up today's episode, but we're hopefully going to make it through it. So you will eventually find it just like behind me, and it's similar to a lot of the other stuff you've already been doing, exploring around. Just break it to get through, and this is what the boss room looks like for the Night Phantom. There's going to be a bunch of these guys in here. We got to kill them all. Each of them as we go, just... you know, keep running around until you get them all dead. Where's the last one? There he is. I'm hitting him with a pickaxe. No wonder it's taking so long. And like all the others, they're going to spawn a chest in the middle of the room full of loot for you. Oh, look, I had loot floating on the ground beside me. This is about the 4th time I have dumped my inventory into storage while working on this boss, but there is our Night Phantom trophy. Now, I think that some of these might have chests hidden in them, but, you know, that you can decide if you want to be a grave robber or not. I guess none of these do. Nope. Okay. No chests hidden inside. But on your way back out, don't forget to grab your trophy if you want it out of the entrance, the little, you know, entryway pedestal that you opened up, and then we'll move on to the next boss. I'll catch you guys on the surface, and we will head on to the Ergast Tower, which is actually in the center of the Dark Forest. So let me find my way back out of this maze, and I will see you guys on the surface. All right, so in the sake of time, and since we've gone through getting you flight before we did this in our world, we're going to cheese this one too. There's a bunch of towers that you got to try and wrestle your way through. If you want to do it that way, go to the center of the Dark Forest, and you'll find a hole in the canopy. That hole in the canopy will have some access to get inside of this tower. We're not doing that because it took me so long to find that one. I am running out of time, and I want to get through the Twilight Forest in today's episode for you. So we're going to fly our way up here to the top to the Ergast platform. The Ergast platform, normally you would work your way through all these fun doors and everything else, all the way up to the central spire up here, and then we will see the spawner for the boss right there. Now, there is ways you can do this that are not cheesy, but if you got flight and a good sword, just get up here and attack the guy. And there we go. Now, back on the main platform where his spawner was, just like with all the other bosses, Ergast trophy, and we're done. We can head out of here. Next on the list is the Alpha Yeti. That is in that snow biome, which I said we'll be back later over there to our east. So let me head there and I'll meet you there. So very similar to the Phantom Knight mazes and the Menace Room mazes, there are several locations where you can get to the Alpha Yeti in the snowy biomes. You're just looking for one of these hills. And then right here in the center is a spawner. So when you approach it, the Alpha Yeti is going to pick you up. He's going to like wrestle with you and stuff, but he is no more difficult than really any of the other bosses. You just got to get in here and get your hits in on him while you can. Make sure you got something to keep your health up. You know, we've got our auto-feeding backpack, and it is keeping us fully healthy. So here we go. And thankfully, they don't make us go do the final plateau in their quest line, or maybe they do and it'll unlock here in a second, because, spoiler alert, the Twilight Forest is probably never going to be finished. It has been unfinished for as long as I've been playing Minecraft, and that is a long time. But the Snow Queen has probably one of the coolest castles, other than the final castle, which the final castle is cool to look at, but that's all there really is. Like, there's nothing to it. It was like they were on the cusp of having, like, something just amazing, and they stopped just short. So hopefully one day it gets finished, but here we are, Snow Queen's Tower. Just like all the rest, if you don't have a form of creative flight yet, you have to fight your way up through these spires all the way up the inside, but we're not doing that. We are the kings of cheese, and so we're just looking for the tallest tower, probably this one, and we're going to break our way in. Yep, this is the right one, because you can see the Snow Queen health bar right there on the screen. Now, breaking these Aurora blocks takes forever, but it is way better than having to fight your way through the tower. So I'll be back once this block is broken. All right, I broke through, and then the Snow Queen escaped and is outside of her little thing, but that's okay. We've got flight. She's got flight. Just take her down. Where'd you go? Come back here, you coward. There we have it. Snow Queen down. Here's the Snow Queen's chambers. And just like with all the other bosses, here is our loot. And with that, it gives us our chapter completion for the Twilight Forest. Like I said, I'm kind of thankful they didn't make us go through the steps of the final plateau like they have in others, which if you want to, it is, let me see if I can get a cursor on the screen. I can't because it covers the map. Hold on, let me see if I can get the map back to my middle. Okay, so bottom left of the map right here, this is the final plateau. In order to get there, you got to go get a bunch of cinder roses, and then you can enter in, and the cinder roses are in the area around it. But it's not finished, so you do all this work for nothing. And the Snow Queen is really like the last element that feels finished in the mod. So I'm glad they made us stop there. But that is actually gonna wrap up an episode for us today. So for those of you who have seen the Twilight Forest before, I'm sorry, but there are people watching this pack that have probably not watched any of my other ones, and they would want to know what they're supposed to do with that chapter. So we made it all the way through it in today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.